that's what it's whatever he wants to do himself. I would have. I think he should have had the rematch. To be fair, that would have been my opinion. If he'd have been my fighter, I'd have put him back in there because actually he did all the right things. He was calm. He was taking the shots. He was walking him back to the corner and all that. So he almost had it right, but he done fundamental silly mistakes in there. So mistakes that could probably, correct them. So it's just, listen, it is what it is. They know their own mind or whatever, and they know what it is. But it's not a good look in not having the rematch, in my opinion. Because why wouldn't you?
Yeah, I mean,
we've got to look at the older fight. Look, Lennox Lewis, he got cleaned out. He rematched the guy, didn't he? And far worse than Joshua did, and he rematched him. So why can't Joshua rematch him? So again, it looks like to the world that he's being protected and he doesn't want it, which I'm sure isn't the case. But that's what people will say, won't they? Because that rematch should be there and it should happen. He's good enough. He should beat him, shouldn't he?
And those are the words of Peter Fury as he gives his breakdown or opinion on Anthony Joshua. And I think that Peter has pretty much gave us the hard truth of the matter. And he's not biased. He's a Fury, but he's one of the Furies that has his own independent mind. And but I don't think it really takes what side of the street you're on to see that a lot of people think the same thing. Because when Joshua, or should I better yet, when I heard Eddie Hearn say that we had to come in and step in and tell and counsel Anthony Joshua not to take this fight, and he may not have liked it, but it was a lot of people, him and his team, decided that he shouldn't. That let us know right then that fight ain't happening. Okay, it wasn't happening, and it does look bad. I have to agree with Peter. It looks bad. It looks bad because he should have indeed took that rematch. Because there's no other time in history where he's got beaten and he hasn't. And it just shows us that the older he gets, the more either complacent or the more cautious his team gets about certain fights or challenges that are challenges. See, Anthony Joshua in his whole career has been about challenges and fighting the best. It was the other guys that had the narrative that they didn't fight each other. Okay, and that might have been the truth. It's just the point is they pretty much canceled each other out. And I'm talking about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder. The other two guys, they really didn't fight the biggest and best competition that was available, okay, at the time. But by the time they got through at each other, it really didn't matter. Tyson was talking about retirement after the third fight, and Deontay Wilder stepped out of the ring for 2 years. Okay, so that being said, you had Joshua, and Joshua, was taking his mandatories, and his mandatories were pretty steep at the time. He took on Pulev, and, of course, COVID happened, and then he took on the very next year Alexander Usyk, and he got beat by Alexander Usyk, so he should have had another fight possibly, but that fight had to go because it was with the WBO, okay? And the WBO mandatory was Alexander Usyk, and he beat him. But he tried again, though. That was the point. He tried again. Even though he got beat by decision in Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, right? He still fought him again in Saudi Arabia the next year. You know what I mean? And he came up short, but at least he tried. Now it's like he's not even trying because those same things are not happening. They're not taking place. It's not the standard protocol with Anthony Joshua. Well, moving on to how he compared it to Lennox Lewis. Well, Lennox Lewis, Peter, did that. He fought Hasim Rahman right away, but he didn't take a beating like Joshua did, bro. That's not comparable. Unless he's talking about old McCall, and that's different. And even if he was talking about McCall, he fought McCall 6 fights later. So I think Lennox Lewis is a bad example, but then he is, was one of those dominant British fighters that did what he had to do when push came to shove, and he did fight both guys. Joshua has been in 2 rematch issues or situations right now. And he's come up, he's 1-1, right? With Andy Ruiz and with Alexander Usyk. So he's lost, the rematches with Usyk, but he tried, right? Now, as far as Anthony Joshua and his style, right? Like what he was doing, looking at that fight and watching Anthony Joshua, I see what Peter was talking about. He was calm. He was damn near too calm because he was trolling, he was clowning out there, and he shouldn't have been doing that. He shouldn't have been showboating, but he, it was almost like he knew, like, hey, I'm going to get you. And round 5 looked like it was going to turn around because he did stay calm enough to put those shots together. He just didn't stay calm enough to put them together properly and to take his time to properly heal because he was hurt. He got dropped 4 times, and then the ref really added insult to injury because of false calls, or should I say lack of knockdown calls. Because when Joshua got hit by Daniel Dubois, his gloves hit the canvas. He should have stopped and counted then, but he didn't, and it commenced Daniel Dubois beating the shit out of him. So yeah, that was a very bad call. So the referee indeed caused AJ more punishment than he really needed in that exchange. Okay, so but back to what AJ did, yeah, the things that he could have done, they could have been stopped, because it's not like this was someone that was so much better than him. He was just better than him on the night and had everything, planned out, and his game plan was a lot better. And he, and it's a power puncher. It's Daniel Dubois, one or the other, So I do agree with Peter. Joshua should have took that last fight because his stock drops. You know what I mean? And it just shows you, like that, hey, maybe, you're not really up for this no more, or you're just scared of the fighter. This fighter has done something different than Usyk done. Yeah, well, he got the KO, didn't he? Yeah. But so did Andy Ruiz. It didn't stop you with him. So it shows you a lot about Daniel Dubois. When Daniel Dubois gives you a whooping like that, Daniel Dynamite Dubois makes you run and hide your tail between your legs. That's not what we expect AJ to do, because again, like I said at the very beginning of the video, that Anthony Joshua was known to take the toughest challenges. And this is his toughest challenge because this is his recently latest loss. But you guys tell me what you think of Peter Fury stating that AJ should have taken the fight because it seems like he was guarded or protected. And is he? Yes. In short, yes, he was protected. You guys tell me what you think below in the comment section. Of course, please subscribe, like, and share. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!